Okay, so now what we're going to do is a simple composite using the object selection tool and some advanced masking using some layer masks. And we're going to come back and explore some different methods for using layer masks. So I've got this image, and what I want to do first is I want to isolate Lois, my friend Lois, from the background. And we're going to replace the background from this to this. Now the images are different dimensions, but I'm going to show you a very easy way to resize one image to fit into another. So I'm going back, and we're going to go over and we're going to look at the object selection tool. Now there's two ways to deploy the object selection tool. Two modes. One is rectangle and the other is lasso. I'm going to choose rectangle, and then I draw a rectangle over the figure and let go, and it snapped to the image, and it actually did a pretty good job. I'm going to click select subject. This will discard your current selection. Do you want to continue? I'll say yes. And that also does the same thing where it finds the image. Let's start from scratch and watch that. I click select subject. It looks and tries to find the image, and then it forces a selection over the image. And actually, it does a pretty good job of finding the foreground from the background, which is very interesting. So those are some different methods. I'm going to turn that selection off, select deselect. I can also use the lasso tool. So I'll go up and choose that lasso tool. And then I will drag a lasso around the image. And what's interesting about this is it doesn't even have to be that perfect of a lasso. And when I get all the way around and let go, once again, it's going to find that image and snap. So it's done a very good job with finding the edges. Now I can clean this up. If you look down here at the bottom between her thighs, I can grab, say, the polygonal lasso tool, hold on the Alt key, and come in and just clean that up by clicking around like so, and then double clicking. And then I want to clean up her hair, and there's a selected mask palette, which allows you to do some fine tuning to selections. And we'll spend more time with that later. But right now we're going to go to select. We're going to choose select and mask. It's going to bring up that selected mask palette. And there's a lot of options in here. We'll go through all the options later. One is adjusting the transparency to see how the knockout has been deployed. I can smooth the edges of the knockout. I can feather the edges of the knockout, and I can also go up, and on the left I have some selection tools. So what I'm looking for is the second one down here, and I'm just going to kind of smooth that over her hair a little bit just to make that a little bit more refined, and that will make that look a little bit nicer. And then I'll click OK. And there's my selection. So I formed a very good selection. And now I want to paste. Now there's a number of paste options. One is a traditional paste, then there's paste into and paste outside of. So let's look at what happens with each one of these. So remember that with a traditional paste, you're pasting directly into the document. And we'll look at all these options when we get to advanced masking. We're going to go through paste into, paste outside of, etc. The other option is pasting into a selection. So I have a selection on the canvas, so I'm pasting into a targeted region. So I'm going to grab this picture of the castle, and I'm going to make a selection, select all, select everything in the image. I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to choose copy. Then I'm going to come over to the other canvas, and let's try paste first. I'm going to go to edit and just choose paste. So what that does is that pastes the image on top of the other image. In this case, that's not exactly what we want. So I'm going to undo that. And instead of that, what I want to do is choose paste into. I'm going to go to edit, paste special, paste into, and oh, it pasted over her, which isn't what we want either. So that's an interesting option though. There are times when that can work. For instance, I'm going to go to select, deselect. I'm sorry, I'm going to go to edit and undo. And I can take that selection and invert it. So if I go to select, choose inverse, and then go to edit, paste, paste into, I've achieved my goal. I'm going to undo that. Edit, undo paste into, select inverse, and let's look at the other option, which is paste outside. If I go to edit, paste special, paste outside, I've got the image on the outside. So either one of those methods would work to achieve the end goal of compositing these two images. Now, I want to resize the image in the background. You'll see that I have two layers and I've got this wonderful knockout, and I'm going to hit Control T on my keyboard, or you can go to edit and choose free transform. And the transform handles are around the size of the document, and the document are different dimensions from the canvas. So if I zoom out, Control minus, I can see the differences between the canvas and the artwork. And then I just make sure that the lock symbol is on for my transform and scale it inwards until it fits. Hit the enter button and then zoom back up, Control 0, Control minus to zoom out, grab my move tool, choose where I want the castle to be in relation to my subject. And that's how you use the object selection tool and some ideas about pasting into, paste outside, and paste.